Hi, friends. Hello, the world. Welcome back to this episode of Tools for Transitioning Humanitarians. Your host is Salor Manoa. So, today I want to talk about the topic that keeps coming up, especially lately, is about fear of rejection, right? And fear of rejection might be before someone rejects us, or an institution or an organization employer rejects us, or after we feel like we've gotten so many rejections, whether it's an application process, whether it's in a dating process, whatever it is, and we just feel like I'm not doing it, I don't want to do it, and then we feel that we are so afraid of being rejected again, and we continue protecting ourselves and not going for the things that we want to. So, I want to give you several scenarios in which my clients were telling me about this fear of rejection so that you can see the specifics of it in terms of transitioning. So, one of the reasons that came up recently where a client of mine was saying that he had received so many rejections from his interviews or job application, and he was so perfect for those jobs, and then he just feels so bitter about how the system is rigged, how it doesn't work, and then he feels so frustrated and angry and doesn't want to apply anymore. The other client was telling me that the fear of rejection came up in her conversation, that somewhat serious conversation that she wanted to have was a new date or a boyfriend, the new relationship, and she is so afraid of having that conversation because she feels like she will be rejected in case she proposed something and he will say no, and she will feel hurt about it. And the third one that I found interesting that came up yesterday in the group as well is another amazing humanitarian is started dating someone for 1 week now. And then she has a lot of thoughts about how this relationship may not really go anywhere. He may reject her, meaning that she may just leave and then she will be heartbroken. At the same time, she's trying to go international. Will this really work? How it's going to work, why invest time in this if it's not going to go anywhere. Right? So all about fearing rejection before even it happened, or fearing next rejection after feeling like we've been rejected so many times. Now, in this episode, I want to really talk about what happens when we keep fearing it and then what to do about it, right? So, one of the first things that I really want us to think about is how is our experience when we keep fearing rejection, right? Whether we've been rejected so many times or we are afraid of having another one, how is our experience if we keep fearing it? So one of the main reasons why I believe that we should deal with this fear of rejection is because we don't want to give so much power to this fear, right? So that's really I think that if anything that I could tell anyone is we don't want to give any power to fear in general and fear of rejection specifically. And here is the reason why. If we make this a problem, or if we keep making it like, oh my God, I'm afraid now, or I'm afraid that this is going to happen, therefore I don't just date this guy, is we're letting the fear dictate how we proceed in our relationship. We're letting the fear dictate what job we go and apply for. We're letting the fear of rejection dictate how our application process or job search is going to go. We're going to just make the fear even more powerful, and therefore we just keep um, trying to protect us and keep feeling like, oh, I will be hurt again. I don't want to be hurt again. And then just keep feeling protective and constraining ourselves. And therefore, we just end up not either building the relationship, not learning how to go through whatever the process of building a relationship, maybe getting a heartbreak, maybe not having things the way that you want to, going through that and building that resilience. We're not allowing us to experience that. All we are allowing to experience if we keep fearing rejection is keep growing that fear even further. right? So that's the main reason why we need to address and work through this fear of rejection is to really understand that do I really want to give power to this fear? Do I really want to be a victim of this fear and keep fearing this fear and then not really enjoy the relationship that I already have, not having those difficult conversations that we actually need and want to have, or not really enjoy the process of a job application, or at least even if we don't enjoy it, at least we don't make ourselves miserable, right? Because we're already in a hardship situation, not having the money come in, not really doing the thing that we want to. Now, if we add that fear of rejection, we're going to make it so much more bitter for ourselves, and that's not what we want. Right. So that's why the main reason is not to give power to this fear. Now, the other reason that I think we're not really aware of or not really thinking about is that when we keep fearing the rejection, what we're not really recognizing is that if we have been rejected and we felt hurt or disappointed, angry, if we made the rejection means hurt feeling, rejection means disappointment, rejection means angry, we really haven't understood the belief system that we have behind it. Meaning, when we are being rejected, we didn't really understand why are we being hurt, right? We didn't really clean up the belief system behind it. Instead, we just keep making it mean that, oh, if someone rejects, that means I will be hurt. I don't want to be hurt, therefore, let me not go for that thing anymore. Now, we have not really understood why we're feeling hurt, why we're feeling offended, why are we feeling disappointed. Instead, we're just stopping doing the things that we believe that we will get rejected for. But instead, if we could look at, okay, I have been rejected many times and I have been I have felt hurt, and I want to understand why it comes as a hurt. We need to understand that, because if we don't understand it, we continue conditioning ourselves to fear rejection anyway, because we just continue saying, well, rejection means hurt. So therefore, I'm not going to do the hurt. Therefore, I'm not going to do rejection. Therefore, I'm not going to even apply, or I'm not going to have even have a difficult conversation, or I'm not going to build relationship. Then we're actually making our situation even worse, right? So we're making our situation even worse by not building the relationship and not experiencing love and all the other joys that come by building relationship. So we're now having the hurt feeling, we're generating hurt feeling for not creating the relationship we want. We keep creating this hurt feeling for not really going for the things that we love going for. We just made it a different variation of other feelings that we are creating, that is equally not really pleasant and we don't like it, but we're just saying that, well, maybe it's better this way that I'm just alone and don't do a relationship, or it's better this way that I just don't move and get the promotion, or it's better this way that I don't have the difficult conversation with my boyfriend or girlfriend. Then I will just keep pretending that this problem doesn't exist. Then we're frustrated and we're having other emotions anyway, right? So therefore, we're not building the resilience of how to process hurt and never have hurt feeling anymore. And also learning the relationship part, learning the job application part. Instead, we're just feeling stuck where we don't want to. Now, when we are understanding this belief system around why are we experiencing hurt, this is an important topic for us to really understand it. Why do we feel hurt when someone rejects us? That means that we're making it very personal, right? That means that we're making it mean that I must not be good enough. I must not be this. I must not be that. Why are we making that mean about ourselves? And most importantly, where are we going with that by saying that it must be my fault or it must be me, I must not be good enough? When we are saying these things, what is the purpose of them and where are we going with this? Why are we beating ourselves up about it when we know that nothing good can come out of it? Because The difference between how we actually analyze what is it that we need or what is it that we need to grow is different than we just keep bitching about ourselves, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is when we are saying that we're hurt or disappointed, angry, we're also making it about them, meaning that, well, they must be unfair. This system is rigged. This is it. We go into the blaming marathon when we know that the all the feelings that come from that blaming is within us, right? We're all experiencing the blame, every blame that we keep making, we are experiencing in our bodies, which is what we actually don't want. And since we cannot really change the system to which we're applying, since we can't really like force them to hire us, what is the point of doing that either? So, right? So therefore, we need to start understanding that when we keep making this rejection about us or about them and keep feeling hurt or angry, we're just going to create more of the emotions we don't like. We're not going to want to apply for positions in the future because now we're creating more of the disbelief. And therefore, we just feel demotivated to even do that. And therefore, we worsen our situation further than actually improving it. Therefore, what we want to understand is fear of projection. It doesn't need to be conditioned to hurt, or it doesn't need to equal to hurt immediately. You don't need to make it personal either. You also don't need to make it all about them and how bad they are and all of this, because there's no point in doing that anyway. Therefore, what we want to do is feel the emotion of feeling rejected, whatever it is, and it feels unpleasant, and then decide how are we going to process these emotions and go to the other thing and keep doing the thing that we want to do. And if it's about building a relationship, again, we want to understand that if we keep fearing the rejection, or if we keep fearing that person will leave us, then we will not enjoy our relationship even now. And likely we're going to sabotage our relationship, and there will be no relationship to leave, even to begin with. And the worst part that I find is that then we will never know how to do a great relationship or how to be all in on that relationship. And if we don't learn how to do that, then we're going to continue telling ourselves the story of, oh, I'm just not good at the relationship, or the guys I dated are like this, so I just don't do relationship, or I don't do commitment, whatever it is, and then we just keep suffering from our own stories. And that's not what we want either, right? So, and last one that I want you to really think about why we need to learn to deal with this fear is because we need to build the resilience of going through these experiences and keep going through them again, because that's just part of life. And as I said, again, it doesn't, fear of rejection or rejection doesn't need to equal to hurt feelings. It doesn't need to equal to feeling like bitching about ourselves or beating ourselves up. It doesn't need to lead to that. And it's something that will continue occurring in our lives if we want to keep growing, if we want to build relationship, if we want to be honest and loving in our relationship. This is something that we will continue experiencing in one way or another. But if we stop our lives because of it, what we're going to do is we're going to constrain our lives even further, and therefore we're not going to like the outcome we see anyway. So we may as well learn how to build resilience around going through this rejection. And that resilience comes from, one is we need to learn to process whatever the emotion that came up after being rejected or fearing rejection. And two, we need to start understanding the belief system behind why we're making this rejection mean so bad about ourselves, or why are we making it mean so bad about the other thing? Why are we using it to generalize about all of our experience of the past, and deciding, do we want to do that? Do we want to deal with a rejection in such way? Do we want to keep giving power to fear of rejection that we don't even apply for the position we want to, or we don't even go for the relationship we want to? Do we really want to make fear this powerful? And I'm assuming not. And if that's the case, then we need to start learning how to understand our fear around rejection, how this makes us feel, why it's making us feel this way, and what are we going to do moving forward so we can build the resilience of not making fear of rejection so powerful that we actually don't go for the things that we want to, that we actually don't build the relationships that we're so craving. And therefore, we need to really learn that it's within our power to control, to manage this fear so that it doesn't interfere with our relationships. It doesn't interfere with our current experience of how we're applying for a job. It doesn't interfere with heavy or difficult conversations that we're having with our loved ones. Because we know that we're more powerful than any emotions or any thought processes or any beliefs that we have. And if we really recognize that we're more powerful than anything that our brain produces, then we can decide what to do with them and how to solve it in a way that it doesn't keep being such a huge thing that we don't know how to deal with it. And if you want to work on this, absolutely come coach with me. I would love to help you get through this in a way that makes you even more powerful rather than keep feeling hurt. So, have an amazing week, everyone, and I'll talk to you very soon.